You know how, after a satisfying coding session, there's that looming to-do list of creating a release, deploying your code, and checking all of it works well. It's like finishing a great book, only to remember you have laundry to do. Oh, hey doggo. Wouldn't it be nice if the socks just paired themselves? Meet GitHub Actions, your personal assistant for the stuff beyond coding. Let them handle the building, running tests, linting, deploying, and all of the boring things that need your precious time. GitHub Actions can act on just about any event happening on GitHub, a new pull request, an issue created, or even daily or weekly times that you set. It's code that executes based on your specific needs. Curious about the nitty-gritty? I'll show you how I supercharged my library with some of this magic. Introducing my CLI baby, the random trivia generator, which you can run on your terminal to get trivia questions and answer them. I've poured more time into this project than my coffee mug, and as you can imagine, it's an absolute hit. GitHub Actions made things quicker and smoother and allowed me to refill my mug. Let's get into the code to see how you can do the same. First, I wanted with every new pull request to have my linter and my test pass and make sure that the project can build before spending any time reviewing it. Let's open our project to see how I did it. I made my first action in my project by creating a check.yaml file in my .github/workflows directory. I named my action lint build and test. Then, I identified when I wanted it to run, so I specified that it will run when new pushes or new pull requests are on the main branch. Now for the job, I want it to be built using the latest Ubuntu and have the following steps. Download my code using the actions/checkout, set up node, and I specified node 16, which will allow me to install dependencies, run my linter, build my project, and run my tests. If any of these fail, I will get an error on my pull request, which will block me from merging it. To see it running, you can go to any open pull request, click on the name of the action, and see your summary. You can be monitoring your actions from the Actions tab as well. Speaking of monitoring, I see you there. You haven't liked my video yet. Like this video and subscribe to my channel. Anyway, moving on. Now that I have ensured that PRs passed my lints and tests, I wanted an easy way to release this beast to NPM. So you guessed it, I created an action for that. Let's look into it. I added another file in GitHub's workflow directory and named this action npm release. I wanted to run only when I create a new release on GitHub, so I added this. The first job I specified looked very similar to the previous action, where I check out the code, set up node, and ensure my lints and tests pass. Now, this is where the magic happens, in the publish step. It will need the first job that I named build to run on Ubuntu, and then after it has my code and node set up, I install my dependencies, build it, and then publish it to npm. To do that, we also need an npm auth token, which we'll get from npm.js. To get the token, you need to sign into npm, go to access tokens, generate a classic token, give it a name, set it to publish, and then copy it to your GitHub repo by going to settings, secrets and variables, actions, and paste it here with the name you're using your action. In our case, npm auth token. Now GitHub will be able to retrieve your secret and run your action. Let's see it in action. Let's see it working anyway. So if I come to releases and create a new release, I should be able to see the action fire up and publish to npm. There it is. And as we can see, it successfully published the new version to npm. If you want to test your GitHub Actions on your computer before using them online, I highly recommend looking into Act. It is a fantastic tool that can help you run your actions locally. Just make sure you've got Docker set up to make it work, because it spins up a container much like GitHub does. So these were the main actions I really wanted to play around with. However, once I started, I couldn't stop, and I added a few more that I liked. The first one had to do with issues and PRs being stale. That was a significant problem in my repo, as so many people had created issues that I hadn't looked at for a while, and some of them had been resolved in the meantime, but were still open. So I created an action that runs on a schedule, every day at 4:20. As for the steps, this action will be labeling and commenting on issues and PRs that have not had any activity for 30 days. Another action I liked was the greetings action. Encouraging open source contributions is very important, so this action checks on people who create issues or PRs, and if it's the first one in this project, then this action will send a message as a comment to thank them for their contribution. One that is also valuable is checking the vulnerabilities of newly added dependencies. With this action, you get a comment every time someone adds a new dependency, showing if they have vulnerabilities, and will fail the PR if the severity is critical. So there you have it. These are the actions I used for this little project. Truth be told, they weren't exactly essential for this particular project, but the learning I gained from them was great. I'm taking this knowledge with me to elevate our company's projects, and hopefully you're now inspired to do the same. There are a bunch of amazing actions already created by the community, which you can find in this repo. If you're interviewing this period, catch my last video right here. While many turn to the STAR model for behavioral interviews, I've shared a more effective approach to have any startup love you. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Thanks for staying with me till the end, and until next time, stay curious, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next one.